Okay, guys, let us continue with our Julius Caesar reading, and now we're going to read Act 3, Scene 2, which is one of the most frequently asked scene of Julius Caesar in boards. This scene shows the power of verbal persuasion to achieve political power. The citizens demand to know why Caesar was murdered. Brutus calmly explains to the citizens the reasons that made Caesar's death necessary. Brutus tells the crowd that he loved Caesar but loved Rome even more. He slew Caesar because he was ambitious and would have made slaves of all of them. Antony's emotional speech describes Caesar's love for Rome and his sympathy for the Romans. He shows them Caesar's wounds and reads out the contents of his will. He so works upon the mob that Brutus and Cassius are forced to ride like madmen out of the Rome. Brutus fails to win the crowd because he appeals to their mind. Antony succeeds because he appeals to their heart. Now, this is a classic case of political influence made by oration, right? So, two people who are extremely intelligent and are administrative heads of Rome, they both have good oratory skills, but Antony's oratory skills overpower Brutus's oratory skills. Both of them give their speeches. Brutus gives it first, and people like his speech. But when Antony comes, the crowd is overturned. This can also be attributed to the fact that Antony came later on, which and the crowd was such irrational that they forgot what they had just believed 2 minutes ago and formed a new opinion without really correlating them. So this was a fickle-minded crowd. That would be one reason. But Antony, out of all, was definitely very precise and very sleek with his tricks, and thus it will be very interesting to read his speech because it's really beautifully written. Now, Rome, the Forum. Enter Brutus and Cassius and a throng of citizens. Now, again, this is a very important question. Where is this scene taking place? The scene is taking place in Rome, in the Forum. Yes, no. Okay, the scene is taking. Please. The scene is taking place in Rome, in the Forum. Enter Brutus and Cassius. Enter Brutus and Cassius and a throng of citizens. The forum is the quadrangle where the Senate meetings, political gatherings, and judicial proceedings took place. Forum is a quadrangle, four-sided quadrangle, where Senate meetings, political gatherings, and judicial proceedings. Senate meetings, political gatherings, and judicial proceedings took place. Citizen says, we will be satisfied, let us be satisfied. Which means that we demand answers, give us answers, because the citizens who liked Caesar are devastated now. Brutus says that follow me and give me audience, friends. Cassius, go you into the other street and part the numbers. Those that will hear me speak, let them stay here, and that will follow Cassius, go with him, and public reasons shall be rendered of Caesar's death. So there, Brutus is saying that the crowd has to be divided into two parts. One, because he can't cater to everyone at once because there were no mics at the time, right? So yes, so half of the crowd will be listening to Caesar and half will be on the other place. They will be listening to Cassius and they will both give them reasons. First citizen says that I will hear Brutus speak. Second says I will hear Cassius and compare the reasons when severally we hear them rendered. Okay, so exit Cassius with some of the citizens. Brutus goes into the pulpit. Pulpit is a raised platform on the forum. Third citizen, the noble Brutus is ascended. Silence. Brutus, be patient till the last, Romans, countrymen, and lovers. Hear me for my cause and be silent that you may hear me. Believe me. Okay, so Brutus's speech, be patient till the last, Romans, countrymen, and lovers. How does he start? Romans, countrymen, and lovers. Romans, countrymen, and lovers. On the other hand, at the same time, I like to read out to you how Antony starts this. He says, friends, Romans, countrymen. Roman and countrymen are some common words. Brutus says lover, and Antony says friends. So it's more personal. Brutus says, be patient till the last, Romans, countrymen, and lovers, hear me for my cause, for my reasons, and be silent that you may hear me. Just keep quiet so that actually you can hear me. Believe me for my honor and have respect to my honor that you may believe. So, believe me for my honor means do me the honor of believing me and know that upon my honor you can believe me. Okay, so just For my honor, believe me, and also do me the honor to believe me. Censure me in your wisdom and awaken your senses so that you may be the better judge. Censure me, just me in your wisdom means make me in your judgment of me, and keep wise and keep your mind alert basically. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. So he is first addressing the people who actually really liked Caesar. So he says that all the lovers of Caesar's, to them I say that I loved him as much as you did. Then he says that if then that a friend demands answers why Brutus rose against Caesar, if anyone wants to know, if that person wants to know why I killed him if I liked him that much, then he say then but this is my answer: not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Remember this line, just mug up with this line: not because I loved Caesar less, but because I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves? So he is giving a would you rather to them. Would you rather have Caesar as living and you all die as slaves, than that Caesar were dead to live all free men? So there are two options. You want Caesar to be living and you all die as slaves, or you want that Caesar should be dead and you all shall live as free men? Caesar be living, you all are slaves. Caesar were dead, then you all are free men. So what is he trying to inculcate among the citizens? He is trying to make them aware of the point that Caesar was a dictator and he wouldn't have let them live for long. Then he says that as Caesar loved me, I weep for him as he was fortunate. I Fortunate here means not lucky; it means here accomplished. He says that as Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was accomplished, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. So he says this is also a very good story. Often most we say that Antony's speech was so good and Brutus's did not. Brutus's speech was also very good. As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was accomplished, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. Slew means kill him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who is here to hear? So once again, I'll read. There is tears for love. I'm very sad that he's dead. So there are tears in my life. He was so accomplished, so I'm very happy for him. He was so brave, so there is honor in my mind for him, uh, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base? So base means so wretched and so unhappy. Who is here so base, so wretched, so unhappy? That would be a bondman. That he would be ready to be a bondman. Bondman is a slave. If any speak, for him I offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? So he's just saying that a Roman cannot be, first thing he said that a Roman cannot be a slave. And if you think you would rather be a bondman, you would rather be a slave, then I have offended you because you're not a true Roman. If they any speak for him, I have offended. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? If any speak for him, I have offended. I pause for a reply. There are two things for which he is two things, two types of people who he is offended. If someone is so base that they would rather be a bondman, or if there's someone who is not Roman and who not would not be a Roman, then he is offended. And if there is someone who does not love his country, then also he is offended. Citizens say none, Brutus none. Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. Okay, so he's saying that I have just fulfilled my duty as a citizen of Rome. Uh, and if I were in the place of Caesar, you would also do this with me. You will also kill me if I were like Caesar. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol. The reason for his death is enrolled, is recorded in this capital. His glory not reduced, wherein reasons for his death are recorded in the capital. His glory not reduced, wherein he was worthy, nor his offences enforced, for which he suffered death, nor his offences for which he was killed been exaggerated. Okay, so he is basically saying whatever reasons for which he had been killed has been recorded in the capital. Everyone has seen his arrogance in the capital, and that has been a record. And then he says that his offenses are not being enforced. His offenses are not being exaggerated also. Okay, if it then enters Antony and others with Caesar's body. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth, as which of you shall not? Um, a place to live in a place of commonwealth. Okay, so what does this mean? That Antony will get a place in the commonwealth. Commonwealth is the country, so he will get a place to live as a citizen of the country. As which of you shall not? Everyone will get to be a person, a member of this commonwealth. With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself, when it shall please my country to need my death. Now, this was a really great story, and it's very important that we read this again. I guess there is just one part left. Good countrymen, let me depart alone for my sake. Stay here with Antony. That's not part of the speech. This speech is here, ends here only. And I would like to repeat main points that you have to remember for the exam. Romans countrymen's lovers. Here being be silent and all that stuff. That's not important. If there is any dear friend of Caesar, then I love him as much as he does. But then you'll ask me why I killed him. Because I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and you were all slaves, or you would rather be that Caesar was dead and you all live as free men? Of course, the second one. As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. Blah blah. That's not important. Then it will be who is here so base that they would rather be a bondman. If any, then I have offended him. Who is here so rude that they would not be a Roman, then I have offended him. And if there is anyone who does not love his country, then I have offended him. Three reasons. If you don't agree with any of them, then I have not offended you. Then none I have offended. Now, that's it for this. And so yes, this part is important. That here comes Antony, who has no hand in the dying, but will receive the benefit of his dying. There is a place in the Commonwealth, and every one of you will get to be a part of that place. And then he says that as I slew my best lover for the love of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself, and when it shall please my country to need my death. Whenever my country would need my death, I'll have the same dagger for myself. That's it. Then citizen says, live, Brutus, live, live. First citizen says, bring him with triumph home unto his house, give him a statue with his ancestors. Third citizen says that let him be Caesar, let him become Caesar, which means let him be the king, let make him the king. Fourth citizen says that Caesar's better parts, only the good qualities of Caesar, shall be crowned in Brutus. First citizen says we will bring him to his house with shouts and clamors. Brutus says, my countrymen. Second citizen says, peace, silence, Brutus speaks. First citizens, peace, ho. Brutus says, good countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse and grace his speech, tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony by our permission is allowed to make. I do request you not a man depart, save I alone till Antony have, except me. This means that he is going till Antony have spoken. So what this basically, they can ask you a question, what was the reaction of the citizen after hearing the Brutus's speech? So citizen says that bring him with triumph. They say live, live. Bring Brutus to triumph to his home. Give him a statue with his ancestors. Let him be the king like Caesar, and better parts of Caesar be crowned in him, and all that stuff. Then a first citizen says, stay ho and let us hear Mark Antony. Third citizen says, let him go up into the public chair We'll hear him, noble Antony, go up. Antony says, for Brutus's sake, I am beholding to you. I am obliged to speak to you. Goes into the pulpit. Fourth citizen says, what does he say of Brutus? The third citizen says, he says, for Brutus's sake, he finds himself beholding to us. On behalf of Brutus, he is grateful to all of us. Um then fourth citizen says it will be best if he speaks no harm of Brutus. He'd better not say anything bad about Brutus. So they're so much convinced about Brutus being a good guy here. This Caesar was a tyrant. Nah, that's certain. We are blessed that Rome is rid of him. Second citizen says, peace. Let us hear what Antony has to say. Now comes the very, very famous speech of Antony's, which is Friends, Romans, countrymen, and we are going to continue this in the next video because this is a long one, and we'll complete the scene with Antony's speech only.